So in Tuaps, another case has been initiated regarding the desecration of the eternal flame. And we see that in Russia, the regime is reacting more and more aggressively to any informal contact with symbols of victory worship. That is, an innocent act of lighting a cigarette from the eternal flame mobilizes divisions of security and police operatives. Mockery of the walking cemetery, the immortal regiment, provokes hysteria, and an innocent act like spitting sunflower seeds on some memorial is equated to a bloody terrorist act and results in 8 or 10 years of strict regime imprisonment. And all criminal cases regarding the so-called desecration of military monuments and various paraphernalia immediately come under Moscow's control and end with truly horrific sentences. And this, of course, looks inadequate. It looks very strange because the Second World War ended 80 years ago. Any memory of it, the real, genuine memory, has long since cooled and lost its meaning, and it is maintained only by endless events and agitation. All the countries that participated in the Second World War have long since changed their historical roles. Now, the Russian Federation is the bearer of open fascism, a criminal occupier, while Germany is a bastion of freedom and political reason. Nevertheless, this cult of victory madness is being fueled, heated to a boil. Maternity hospitals put idiotic caps on newborns, and these flames are idolized by the gods of the little ones. Putin youth, it should be understood that all of this no longer has any relation to the memory of the war, its original meaning. All these gatherings and events have long since lost. These are simply very important tools of lobotomy, which turn the population into obedient trench fodder, because the grandfathers fought without questioning, and you're not supposed to. But it must be said that indeed all this victory madness works. If it were not so, if it were not a tool of lobotomy, then probably minor hooliganism by teenagers or a drunkard would not raise such a tsunami of Kremlin fury. Such actions indeed desacralize, they spoil this tool and deprive the regime of the ability to influence the weak minds of the population. That is, well, imagine if instead of the regular 220 volts, yes, it was not 220 but 25, irons wouldn't heat up, toasts wouldn't toast, and light bulbs would barely show a faint red spiral. This is exactly how it is with the intensity, with the voltage of patriotism. It must not be reduced under any circumstances. Otherwise, the people might lose their thoughtlessness and suspect their government of losing the ability to deceive. The people might get the feeling that the authorities have forgotten how to lie. And this would become an unbearable global tragedy for Russia, because lying now allows millions of criminals to escape, to feel like heroes of a superior race. They have a sense of purpose in life. And if this infusion of lies stops or weakens, Russians will have to go and surrender themselves to the zoo. In every city, there are enough cages, enclosures, and shelters, and a completely real fair question arises. The question of where a Russian person should go if it falls silent. The Kremlin's lies if they stop working. Where should he seek comfort, salvation, justification? Just imagine, for a schizophrenic, instant healing has occurred. If such a thing were possible, it would be a wild tragedy. There would be emptiness. The visions would vanish. The voices would fall silent. And the one who just yesterday considered himself a hero, a knight, in sparkling jewel-adorned armor, he would see himself in a soiled pajama with cheburashkas. To the right and left, the wardmates are eating each other's snot, feces smeared on the walls. That is, it's terrifying for the one who has come to their senses. The reality of the vast Russian ward is terrifying, and the doors are locked with no way out. That is, it would be unbearable for this recovered person. And to exacerbate and prolong the madness, to make it stable, it was set in motion. This is victory frenzy, because all sorts of sock drying over a fire and girls sticking out their butts against a backdrop of stars, this is, of course, not any justification for the installation of Nazism, just a light and ironic attitude towards all this paraphernalia. But the influence of the paraphernalia, the authorities do not deem possible to weaken what is called desacralization. This is sacrilege.